Perfect. Everybody this way. Let's show the movie up top. I went 7 and I did all 9 of you right here.
You gotta be enjoying the love you're seeing right now. Disney Plus.
Hey, Michael! There's the director right there. Sure, there he is.
And they directed the original and they did
Can I go up on that real quick? Thank you.
Picture Alex.
They, Jim and Tammy, I mean, also, you know, for humanity, but also such a hit.
I go when I have that feeling. I like that feeling.
They really are. It just represents where we gotta go.
Yeah. I'm normally more, shy and subtle, but I guess the same way that I filmed this.
I'm headed to Nashville in the morning to finish recording our, we have just released a collection of songs called.
Well, the documentary, I mean, they really introduced me to the incredible woman that she was, filled with compassion and love, and I was a bit shocked that I didn't really know the real Tammy, except for the drama and the media, sensationalizing the story. And I thought, it began my journey of getting to know her and my journey of trying to get this film made and introduce her to a new generation of people. You know what? I think it's because I love her so much. I really love what she stood for. I think in any day and age, we need it. This idea that she could take cruelty and transfer it to love. She understood that if someone was being cruel, it was because they had pain inside and they felt unacknowledged and unseen. And so she would always cross the line. I mean, we're living in a time right now where there's a lot of things slinged back and forth, and we're always upping the insults and upping the hurt. And you did this to me, so now I'm going to do this to you. And she really was the example of turning the other cheek and saying, you know what? I'm going to give you love because I understand that you have pain, and I want to know where that pain comes from. And it's something I think we can all learn from. No, the only thing I knew of her was what comedy sketch shows taught me, and that wasn't the full picture. I mean, it really wasn't. And I feel like oftentimes in our history we've done a disservice to women, and it's time we need to reevaluate it. We look at Monica Lewinsky and Marcia Cross and all these stories that are coming out where we're going, wait a minute, or even like Britney Spears. We're talking about all these stories even now. It's like, how have we commodified? How have we judged? How have we made women into commodities and for us to devour and then throw away and not actually look at their talents and their skills and what they actually accomplish in their lives? Why did we focus so much on how much mascara Tammy wore and not actually how she loved people and healed people? So it's about time we change that. I want them to love her like I do. I mean, I want them to maybe just even, preparing for the role, it taught me a lot. And I hope this will happen. Social media can be a negative place. And there was one moment where I was getting, attacked by someone who was being quite mean to me. And I was like, where is this coming from? And I clicked on the platform and I started to get to know the person. And I saw some sadness and some difficult things that they were going through in their lives. And I thought, this is where it comes from. So I hope that you watch a film like this and you understand that you can reach across and try to heal someone. I hope like anyone who feels unloved and unseen and unworthy will see the film and know that they are absolutely deserving of God's grace. Of grace. It doesn't even have to be God's grace. It could be whatever you call it, of grace.
I grew up in the North and in the South, so we had neighbors when I was a kid, that listened to television evangelists and stuff like that. And the country was, it's always been a bit divided, but not as divided as it is now. So I grew up in an atmosphere where I loved my neighbors, and we were all very good friends and tight, but they were just on the right, and I grew up in a liberal family. So to me, it was easier to enter the character Jerry Falwell with an open mind, even though when it comes right down to it, I don't agree with anything that he was for and anything he ever said. But, to service the script, you have to come in with an open mind, otherwise you're going to miss very specific things. So you try to keep an open mind and service the story the best you can. Do just the research, and I had to get he had a particular way of, he had a Virginian accent, but he had a very particular accent. He over-enunciated words, and so I had to get his posture down and stuff like that, the usual kind of stuff, but yeah. It's fun. It's fun. It's really fun because you get to do a lot of work and then you get to, bring them alive or your version of that person alive. And I was in such good company with Jessica and Andrew. I mean, the scenes, all of our scenes were together, and when you work with two actors like that, it makes it so easy. Well, I think what she does is that she gives the character humility. And that's something that people aren't used to. We only remember Tammy Faye when they've made fun of her on the front of the newspaper or on SNL, but there's much more to that woman than that, And Jessica brings all of that humility to the character and to the story.
Well, I grew up with that on TV, and of course, when you're a kid and you have 3 channels, you know a lot about them, Jim and Tammy Faye, and it really looks to me like this is a winner. I don't go to a lot of premieres, but I went to Judy last year, and I have just the feeling about this one, so I wanted to see it. I just think it's going to be a good film. I don't know about the messaging until I see the film, but I look forward to seeing it, and I think she's one of the finest actresses working.
I'm so excited to see it again tonight. I've only seen it once at a screening, and I took a bunch of actor friends. I was working up in Toronto, and they kindly did a screening. And see it with a bunch of, there were about 10 of us, and everybody just came away agog, of course, at Jessica and Andrew. But, it's called The Eyes of Tammy Faye for a reason. Jessica said that there's several gals now who got a bum rap in the press, who are sort of getting a little bit of their comeuppance now. And I'm just so respect Jessica for doing that for Tammy. I mean, the documentary did it, but now to have actors do it so that you can see actual scenes between all of them, between, of course, especially Jim and Tammy. It's so wonderful. Well, for one thing, I've never done an accent from anybody from International Falls, Minnesota, and I still haven't. I did the best I could. But I grew up in the South where people were profoundly religious, and and just that horrible thing of this woman. I love that Tammy was so protective of her mother, and that because of this divorce, she was always having to go above and beyond to gain the love and respect of her church and her community because she had divorced, and I think it scarred her, and it made her mistrustful of people. And meanwhile, she had 8 children with a privy in the backyard in the coldest place on earth. She was made of strong stuff, Tammy's mama. It would just be wonderful in this incredibly divided country that we're in if we could all just be a little more compassionate towards one another and do what Tammy did, which was to put herself in other people's shoes and try not to judge.